In Game 2 of the Western Conference Semis against the Clippers, Jerami Grant had a disastrous shooting night, going 1 of 9 from the field and 0 for 5 from 3, way below his normal percentages. In spite of that, Mike Malone was so glad to keep him on the floor for 40 freaking minutes, and so are Nuggets fans, not only because of his sensational block body, but also because he managed to complete the biggest defensive task in this game, shutting down the #1 superstar on the heavily favored Clippers team, and I meant none other than Kawhi Anthony Leonard. Hi everybody, this is Anthony, and in today's NBA Talk, I'm going to break down how Nikola Jokic torched the LA Clippers with his dominant post moves, his big three-point shots, and his huge assists and money time that helped the Nuggets to bounce back from a devastating 23-point loss in Game 1. And I'm also going to explain how JG's defense prevented Kawhi from scoring a single basket, not only in the fourth quarter, but in the entire second half. Now, before starting this video, I'd like to thank all the fans who subscribed to the channel and showed valuable support from more than 30 countries across the world with views, likes, comments, and shares. I also want you to know that I'm looking to get 1,000 subscribers very soon, so if you like my content, please subscribe to the channel and share it with other people so that I can publish valuable content more frequently.
And now, let the talk begin.
In the first half, the Joker destroyed Zubac and Green in the low post, and was so hot that basketball gods stood by his side on this ridiculous, unbalanced, grounded fall-away shot. How did the Clippers guard him on these plays? On the first one, Morris tried to double-team him from the weak side, but was forced to leave him and to play the rolling Millsap, and with the small Lou trying to take away the spin to the middle, Jokic countered that with an opposite spin, leading to a righty baseline jump hook. Can you see him protect the ball from Zubac with his forearm? On the second one, it was Paul George who came over to help, and considering the height difference, he had a much better chance than Lou to block the anticipated baseline hook shot from behind. The smart Jokic was extremely aware of the block attempt and took advantage of the gap between the defenders for a beautiful lefty up and under. Although this one didn't fall, he still relied on his height advantage and active hand to tip the ball in. This one isn't a replay, folks, since you can spot two differences here. Number 1, the helping Kawhi had a much better chance than PG to block the same anticipated shot because of his massive wingspan. And number 2, unlike Green, Zubac left his feet on the up fake and gave up an easier shot that the Serbian Joker would not miss. On the other hand, Denver outscored LA from behind the arc by 18 points, and considering that Jokic drained about 3 threes per game, on a scary 49% in these playoffs, I don't understand why Zubac went under the screen, practiced social distancing, and gave up such a practice shot that easily.
We're talking about practice, man.
This time, the Clippers switched this pick and roll, but Jokic would still create what the Clippers tried to avoid with a super simple trick, as he faked the pass to Craig to keep Lou away from him. And guess what? He would use the same trick again in another play. With Kawhi being in a 1-on-2 situation at the perimeter, he bought some time for a good closeout by the dropping Zubac by stunning to Jokic, which is normally enough, but another pass fake by the Joker got Zubac and Kawhi away from him for a second, allowed him to take a comfortable 3 that made the late contest look meaningless. By the way, can you caption this priceless facial expression by Doc Rivers in the comments below? With the Clippers cutting the deficit in the fourth, Gary Harris stepped up big time with much needed 3 triples assisted by none other than Nikola Jokic, and the Clippers did a terrible job of giving up 2 of them from his sweetest spots on the floor, where he shot nearly 50% in the regular season. On the side pick and roll, Jokic countered the defense by slipping the screen, and the smart cut by Grant put Green in a 1-on-2 situation on the weak side. But instead of buying time for a good closeout by Kawhi with a stunt, Green gave up a wide open shot that the Clippers did not want. Here's another 2-on-1 advantage resulting from double teaming Murray on another pick and roll. But this time, Kawhi made a deadly mistake since he could have easily ignored Jerami Grant, who was 1 of 9 from the field and 0 for 5 from 3. Instead, LA gave up yet another corner 3 by the red-hot Harris, who would smash any hopes for a comeback as hard as you can smash that like button.
And now,
here comes the part we're all waiting for. How did Jerami Grant shut down the 2-time NBA Finals MVP? Did he do it all by himself? But first, let me reveal a big secret weapon for JG's defense. His wingspan. It is as massive as Kawhi's, and considering that he's also slightly taller than him, this physical gift takes away a big advantage Kawhi normally possesses over defenders with normal arm lengths. On this post-up, Murray discouraged the move to the middle, and Kawhi made the baseline drive, but expected that the potential shot would expose the ball for an easy block from behind by Grant, which would almost happen on this post-up from the third quarter. And to avoid the block, Kawhi went for the up fakes. Give credit to Grant for using his arm length and for delaying the shot without any contact, which bought precious seconds for Jokic and Millsap to get there in time for the rejection. Just watch how well he can contest the shot despite the space created by the step back, as he quickly leaned towards him and raised his hands when the ball was just at Kawhi's waist level. His great instinct and physical attributes were enough to close the gap and to bother this shot. And by the way, watch where his hand was just before the release. The block was really close. Despite trailing Kawhi at the beginning of this play, Grant would end up making him look like an average player. He perfectly anticipated a middle drive, and as soon as Leonard caught the ball, he relied on his great footwork on defense, beat him to the spot with great lateral movement that created contact and forced an ugly floater that Kawhi would miss badly. The Clippers tried to get Kawhi a switch on this handoff or on this double ball screen, but Grant went under both of them, and once again, his great footwork and high hands prevented any easy look in the paint and forced Kawhi to miss the passing option to the open green in the weak side corner. Although the contact created some space for Kawhi, JG wisely jumped and gave Jokic enough time to surprise him from behind if needed. This time, the Clippers got the switch they wanted, but it was the Joker's turn to keep Kawhi in front of him and to set the stage for the #1 play of the block party as the recovering JG, who made it clear for everyone that he's the Kawhi Leonard stopper, would channel his inner Usain Bolt for a monster block that no Nuggets fan will ever forget. At the end of this video, what are you expecting from Kawhi Leonard in this series? Will he bounce back and remind everyone that he's the silent killer in playoff time? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, and I'll see you next time.